Good morning. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. Tottenham, as we all know, a week from today are going to be in Bilbao for what is a massive game, our biggest game since the Champions League final 6 years ago that was also in Spain. We're all hoping for a better outcome. But in true Spurs style, nothing seems to run easily. Nothing runs smoothly. And today I want to talk about a subject that a lot of fans are talking about, and it's about the lack of creativity it looks like we're going into that game with. Now, we already knew going into the semi-final, second leg against Bodo, we knew that Bilbao wasn't available. Now, whilst I don't count Bilbao as the most creative of players, he is someone that can pick his head up, drive forward, and pick a pass. Yes, the assists aren't there, but he does drive forward with the ball and brings that much needed urgency and energy from midfield. But we knew he was out. Then the worst happened. James Maddison picking up the injury, our most creative footballer. For me, the best footballer at the club. He gets injured. We know in his career, he's got a number of goals, a number of assists. He is the creative force that finds the gap between midfield and forward. He's the one that wants the ball. He wants to receive it on the half turn. He wants to lay in strikers, lay in wingers, overlapping fullbacks. He wants to get the ball, give the ball, receive the ball. This is the most intelligent footballer at the club, in my opinion. Now, people say, well, don't worry because we've got Kulusevski. And now it looks like Kulu. And we don't know the extent, but a lot of reports coming out today. And reports are reports. Sometimes they are bang on the money. Other times, they're very wrong. But the reports coming out is that Kulusevski's injury is worse than first thought. Now, the other day, Ange kind of swept it aside. And I understand no manager's going to come out immediately and go, yeah, I'm really worried. But Ange swept it aside. And it looks now that it might be worse. Now, I say this, and in 2 days' time, when we play Aston Villa, Kulusevski could be there in the first team. I don't know. But what I do know is, whilst I don't think Kulusevski is a playmaker, whilst I don't think he is the creative type in the sense of a James Maddison, he is more of a traditional attacking midfielder type number 10. And he does offer you some assists and some goals from inside that 30-yard box just outside the penalty area. So, no Bilbao, no Maddison, and what if there is no Kulusevski as well? Now, it's a big if at the moment, but the game is only 7 days away. And now you've got to weigh up a number of different factors, and we're going to talk about Son in a minute, because Son, whilst not being a playmaker, also has that creative gene in his body. He's got loads of assists for Tottenham across the years. And even when he's not at his best, Son is able to find that pass. Not all the time, but he is able to pick his head up, find the pass, lay it off to somebody, get that cross in. And the problem that you've got now is, are we about to have, with some of these players, to a lesser extent, are we about to have our 2019 Harry Kane Champions League dilemma? Are we going to have the Harry Kane moment? I remember it clearly in 2019. There were many saying he's not played for ages. He's not fit. You cannot put him in to a game of this magnitude. Then you had the other half of the argument, which was, yeah, but it's Harry Kane. But he's our best goal scorer. But he has to play because if a chance falls to him, that's who I want to score the goal. Now, I understand both sides of the argument. And let's look at both sides of the argument. And this could be the same with Son, who hasn't played for a while. He came on the other day with 20, 25 minutes to go. And let's be honest, looked very, very rusty, as you would expect from a player coming back from injury. So you've got Kulusevski and Son, who are both 50-50. You've got Villa on Friday night sandwiched in between the Europa League final. Now, you've got two schools of thought here. Before we look at the flip side, you've got two schools of thought. One, wrap them up in cotton wool, which is something I've heard at Spurs more than any other club ever. Every game, wrap him up, wrap him up, wrap him up. You got that school of thought. Wrap him up in cotton wool so that he has got the best possible fighting chance to be fit for Bilbao. Now, I understand that. But I also understand that when players haven't played football for a while, you need momentum. You need fitness in your legs. You need game time. Now, every footballer is different, as we know. Some players, Ledley King being the prime example. Ledley King could rock up. He hasn't trained for 2-3 weeks. He goes out on the pitch and he's the best player on the park. But not everyone is a Ledley King. Some players need the fitness in their legs. Now, I think that Sonny is that type of player. I think he needs that in his legs. So for me, I am looking at the Aston Villa game and saying for Son, if he doesn't get 70, 80 minutes in his legs against Villa, I don't see how, even though he is the captain of Tottenham Hotspur, even though he's been a wonderful ambassador for this club for 9, 10 seasons, I don't see how we can possibly sit there and say playing Son is the best thing in a European final when he's not fit. Now, I'm not taking away from his ability, because right now he is the one player in our team that I want with a one-on-one chance. I don't trust Solanke in that moment. I don't trust Johnson. I don't trust Richarlison. That's the guy I trust. I don't trust Odegaard. I don't trust Tell. These people are not goal scorers. Son is. So for me, you've got to get minutes into him at Villa Park. Kulusevski is slightly different. Kulusevski is a player that's not blessed with pace. This is a guy that has a good engine, but it's a slow engine. And this is a guy that when he's injured, he really looks injured. When he's unfit, he really looks unfit. And he's a player that wants to hold on to the ball naturally in his normal game when 100% fit. When 50%, 70%, 80% fit, he lingers on the ball even more because the speed of thought isn't there. Any professional athlete, speak to them, they'll tell you your body doesn't do what they want it to do when you're not 100% fit. So Kulu's another one. If he doesn't play against Villa, how can he rock up and play and start in a Europa League final? But now the flip side to all of this. If Kulu doesn't start, and we know Maddison's injured, and we know Bergval's injured, and if Sonny isn't 100% fit, where is the creativity coming from at Tottenham Hotspur? I'm going to be honest, some fans are not going to like what I'm about to say, so cover your ears. Tell and Odegaard are not creative footballers. Look at their stats, look at their data, use your eyes. They don't create. Tell has played 18 games of football for Tottenham and has 1 assist. And that assist was last week against West Ham, where the West Ham player slipped and Tell crossed it 10 yards into the box. That's his only assist. Other than that, he has created next to nothing. Odegaard, exactly the same on the other wing. On the eye, you might say, oh, they look good. They try hard. They work hard. But the actual creativity and output is not there. So this leaves a conundrum. If you are not getting it from your wide men, by the way, Brennan Johnson will probably play. And he's not really that creative type, is he? He's more that ghosting in, grabbing a goal in the box. So where is the creativity coming from? Let's have a look. The midfield is going to pick itself if these players are not fit. Unless Ange-Postecoglou throws a curveball, unless suddenly Ange finds a different way of playing, a spark that we've not seen from him for 2 years, it's going to be Bentancur, Basuma, and Sarr. That is going to be the midfield three, unless he does something audacious like a Mikey Moore in the middle. Sonny plays in the number 10. Does Richarlison drop into the... I don't know. We've not seen him do any of these things. So where is the creativity? Bentancur, Sarr, Basuma. It's not their natural games. They're not creative footballers. They don't get on the ball, pick passes. They don't find the gaps. They don't get assists. This, for me, is a concern. Now, we can have the argument all day long, should we have bought better? That's the squad we've got. But unfortunately, this is what we're left with. So I'm asking you, and I'm interested to hear, where's the creativity coming from? Maybe we don't look at a creative game. Maybe we do what we did second half against Frankfurt. Maybe we sit the three in tight, Saar, Basuma, Bentancur. Maybe you have Richarlison and Solanke up top and you hit long balls into them and ask them to hold it up and bring others into the game. But what I do know is Maddison was a huge miss. Kulu, not as much for me, but he's still a miss now that Maddison's out. And Son out could be a big miss. So where is the creativity? How do we unlock Man United? They're going to play a back three. They're going to have two midfielders sitting in front of that back three. Who is going to be the architect? Who is going to be the locksmith? Who's going to be the one that finds that gap and has the key to thread that ball through? Who is that guy? I've got a feeling we're going to win. I've said this for ages. I've got a feeling we're going to win. I feel like it's aligned. The stars have aligned. But I feel like we're going to have to do this the hard way, the stinky way. I feel like we're going to have to stink this out. I feel like this is going to be a very workmanlike performance, everyone pulling in the same direction. But I do worry about the creativity because what we do know is United have it. United have Bruno Fernandes. Now, whatever people think of Bruno Fernandes, this man is creative. This man has a wealth of goals and assists in his Premier League and his football career. They've got it. We haven't. So for me, I think it looks like we're going to have to play the three in midfield that are the workers, stifle Bruno Fernandes. And for me, I think we're going to have to be a little bit more route one. Let me know your thoughts. I still think we're going to win. I just got this feeling. It's written. It's just written. It has to be. It has to be our turn. We've had so much heartbreak, so much final failure over the last 25 years. Surely this is our time. Let me know your thoughts. What would you do? There's no right or wrongs. What would you do and what would Ange do? Take care. I'll be back at 5 p.m. with Stel for Savran Stel Ask Us Anything. See you then. And don't forget tonight on FHTV Plus, we've got a watch along for the second leg of Stockport v Leyton Orient. And we're cheering on Jamie Donnelly and Josh Keeley, the two young Spurs loanees who have had wonderful seasons. Take care. See you later. And as always, come on, you Spurs.